I have a good buddy who's knocking it out of the ballpark in Wall Street. And he went to Harvard. He's obviously a brilliant guy. He's a brilliant businessman. And he's doing very well on Wall Street. And he says to me with great honesty, when I was at Harvard, I was a moral relativist. But now as I look back on my life, I realize why I was a moral relativist. I wanted to have sex, and more sex with different sex partners. The only problem was I experienced guilt. And the way I dealt with my guilt was to say, morality's relative. I'm not doing anything wrong. There's no such thing as wrong and right. And so in university, we're at a time in life where we have a very strong sex drive. And in order to justify living a sexually promiscuous life, moral relativism is incredibly attractive. I was speaking at the University of Arizona, and I made some real attacks on rape. And I said it's embarrassing to look at the statistics on how many women in university get raped, how evil. Guy raises his hand and says, I date rape. And I said, you gotta be kidding me. How on earth do you justify that? And he says, very simple. I have a high testosterone level. And I said, well, sir, like it or not, that's really evil. That is totally dehumanizing a woman. I couldn't believe he was so honest, but I found it refreshing. All you got to do is look at the statistics, guys. An incredible number of young women are raped, and it's sick, it's evil, and the reason it's evil is not because I'm a nice white guy. It's evil because God created women and men in his image. He created our sexuality for a purpose, and that purpose is not to rape, not to date rape, but to learn to control yourself and to make a lifelong commitment to one person and enjoy sex within the context of a heterosexual marriage. Thanks for raising that. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. That's a completely unbelievable story for the pure fact of like somebody raising their hand and saying I raped someone and didn't either immediately get jumped or reported to the police or anything of that nature. That's just a completely implausible story to me, because I know for certain, like, if in a crowd of 20 to 30 people you say I rape people on the regular, that's not gonna go well for you. I can't help but think you made up that story.
Oh, all right. Thanks for your honesty. I appreciate that. I promise you, sir, the guy raised his hand. He didn't say I rape people. He said I have date raped and I support date rape. That's what he said.
What's the difference?
That's
at the University of Arizona, Tucson, Arizona, several years ago. That happened. And I can promise you, sir, I would think if you were out here on Monday, the way a couple of students treated me, that you would understand that that is not so implausible. When I have a guy standing right here, waving his backside in my face, that's pretty outrageous.
We're asking, were there any repercussions?
Like for him saying that he rapes people on the regular?
He didn't say I rape people on the regular. He said I've done date rape.
That is rape.
Okay, define date rape
just
then,
rape.
because it sounds like you think that they're different things.
That is just
Yes,
rape.
they are different in a person's mind. A person will use the phrase date rape to justify their evil. The same way a person will use eugenics to justify wiping out Jews.
No.
Oh, yes.
No.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what the Nazis
Date
did.
rape is drugging someone to rape them. That is
He
rape.
literally admitted to rape.
Yes.
And nothing happened.
Nothing happened.
I don't-
I can't.
That's not possible. I mean,
Well, then you're living in fantasy, ma'am.
No,
and
I
sir.
think you were living.
No. He said it flat out. And I can promise you, for you to say what you say right now, and to think that you don't judge, would be a joke.
I judge someone who rapes people, yes.
No. You made a judgment call about me lying. That is amazing that you would be that judgmental. Incredible. You weren't there. I was at the University of Arizona, in Tucson, Arizona, and the guy said it flat out. And for you to say, I'm lying, wow, where do you get off accusing me of lying when you don't have the faintest idea what the guy said? And by the way, I also used to live in South Boston, and I also used to confront white racists. And I can promise you those white racists in South Boston said a lot of really trashy things. And I also was almost beaten up and and almost got bricks hitting me in the head in South Boston because I stood against racism. And I can promise you, 100 years ago, if that student on Monday would have done to somebody what he did to me, he'd have been in trouble. He's not in trouble today, but he would have been in trouble. Culture does change, doesn't it? What's acceptable and what's unacceptable in a culture changes.
So you saying that him saying that he date rapes, are you saying that that's acceptable? Is that what you're saying?
How on earth, in light of the fact that I just said that was absolutely evil, I confronted the guy and I said, sir, what you did was evil, in spite of the fact that you have a high testosterone level.
But you did nothing about it.
You didn't report him to the police?
You say it's evil, but you do nothing about
He
it.
just admitted verbally to raping someone. That is grounds to go to the police and say, hey, this student, take a picture of him, because you can do that, free nation. Take a picture of him and be like, this student on the University of Arizona campus
right,
told me he raped someone, and that he partakes in date rape. You didn't go to the police and at least give them a description of the guy.
No, I did not.